It always looks easy when the professionals are playing, but rather than watching the shots, it's often useful to look at the technique. Steve James has an orthodox stance and cue action. So was Alex Higgins. In this situation, the cue ball is touching the red, so Alex must play away from it. Indeed, he puts the cue ball back to the other end of the table, or what is known as the balk end. Steve Davis has altered his stance slightly in recent years, standing more square on. So does Stephen Hendry, but strangely enough, these two great players are exceptions to the rule. There's no legislating for genius. But in terms of technique and cue delivery, there's no one more orthodox than Steve Davis. And everything I've said about right-handers applies equally to left-handers, only the other way around. And there's no better exponent than this man, Jimmy White.
One.
So now we're going to do a little exercise here. In fact, an exercise that Steve Davis still spends quite a bit of time doing, even today. And that is running the cue ball up over the brown spot, the blue spot, pink spot, black spot, and try to bring it down in a straight line again. It sounds so easy, but you'll just see how difficult it is in a minute. Now we're going to get pupils to help me out with this. Matt's going to have a go. Now you should be able to do this the way anybody with a 90-odd break, I'm expecting to get it first time. So let's have a go. Just play it not too hard to start off with. Now that's perfect. Just slightly at the end, but that's just a little bit to do with the nap of the cloth, which we'll be explaining about later. And once again, you hit it with a lot of bottom on the cue ball, and really hit it hard just to see what happens when it comes back. Isn't that amazing? It just shows you that when you start to force the shot, that's what happens. So you've obviously hit that with left-hand side on it. In fact, I'll just have one go myself, just to see what... I'll probably do the same thing. There we go, down the right side of the table. So you need to keep on practicing at this particular shot. This time we got it spot on. As you can see, it come back and hit the tip. So that's a great little exercise for all four of you to have a go at, and just practice it, say, half an hour a day, and that will improve your game no end. We're going to have a potting exercise now for our pupils, and I'm going to use the four highest valued colours. We've got the brown, valued at 4 points. Doesn't matter in this case, but we're just using these. The blue, which is valued at 5 points. 6 points for the pink. 7 points for the black. And Craig's going to help me out first of all here. And this is just going to be plain ball potting, a dead straight pot, which some people find the most difficult. So we're just going to have Craig, just take your time, don't rush the pot, just check everything, the stance, the bridge, go back to all the basics, get the chin right on the cue. And just one thing while we're here, Craig, we'll get you to concentrate on. No, just stay down, cueing up at the ball. One of the most important things is keeping your head perfectly still. And what Steve Davis used to do, him and his father, when Steve used to practice in the early days, his dad used to stand with the cue just above his head, a fraction. And Steve would play a forcing shot, and if his head come up slightly, it obviously hit the cue. So they used to do that for hours, just until Steve, when you watch him now, he plays a shot, his head never ever moves. So just concentrate on that and deliver the cue in a straight line. See how you get on, Craig. Well, that's perfect. In fact, you got a little bit of screw back, which was good as well. Joe Johnson with a long pot almost the full length of the table. Head steady, chin right down on the cue, push the cue through in a straight line, and the cue ball moves into perfect position for the blue. Steve Davis with a similar but slightly more difficult long pot because it is angled. Another of the up-and-coming young players, Steve James, this time holding the cue ball for his next shot on the pink. Jimmy White with a long pot. It's a dangerous shot if he misses. Jimmy plays the cue ball at 12 o'clock with a lot of top spin to bring it back off the top cushion and down the table.